What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the ForexPropFirm.com YouTube channel. As you know, I'm your host, Valentin, and today we are going to do the part 2 of our trading tips series. The topic of this video today is going to be fundamental analysis. I'm going to show you a few things and I'm going to show you how I implemented myself. And after that, you can backtest the data and learn for yourself. Okay, without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you the first thing that you need to do, and that is opening up site for your news releases. Before I talk about more, I'm going to tell you that I really don't know much about the news releases. So I don't really know what most of them are. And if I'm honest, you don't really need to know. It depends on your trading style, of course, but in my opinion, you don't need to know every news release, what is typical for every news release, and so on and so forth. Okay, I personally use ForexFactory.com. When you open up the page, it looks like this, and this is for me personally, as I'm trading only Euro USD. This is the reason why I'm only watching out for USD and Euro news. You can filter that and you can filter the week as well, because we are on the second week of March, and here I'm using from Monday the 4th to Friday the 8th as a data. And you can click on the filter over here, and here you can filter by currencies, you can filter by impact, and you can filter the event types. I encourage you to leave event types on. And for me personally, I'm only watching out for red folder news or orange folder news. The gray folder news are something like USD bank holiday. I'm interested in knowing when the US have a bank holiday, so I'm having this one in. Okay, as I said, you can decide which currencies are going to show up on your display. For me, it's Euro, GBP sometimes, most of the times I really don't use it. And after you clicked on all of them and the ones you're going to use, you can click on apply filter, and then it goes to show up when and on which time you have the news releases. For me, it's set up to New York time zone because my TradingView is set up to that time as well, because I'm only trading New York session. So for me, really, this is only interesting for a New York session for me personally. Let's go through a couple of news. As you can see here, yesterday we had 10 a.m. US dollar news, red folder. Today we just had the 8:15 dollar release as well, and on 10 a.m. we are going to have some news. I'm going to show you some charts at the end of the video as well. So when I'm doing a new weekly outlook, which I can show you here as well, I'm going to watch out when I'm going to trade. I'm going to show you this one here. Okay, weekly outlook. And here I'm laying out the foundation for my trading week. As you see, I'm doing an economic calendar screenshot, and below that I'm typing out my risk tolerance and my high probability trading days and focus. As I mentioned, you can see here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm exactly typing out when I'm going to trade and when I am risking my equity. So you see, I'm really doing, how should I say it, an outlook on the weekend, and then I'm acting by that plan that I laid out, or I'm going to plan my trade and then I'm going to trade my plan as I'm going to say it. Okay, and as I said, this is my work on the weekend, and after that I'm just going to look at the charts, look at the news, and then I'm exactly behaving the way I did it on the weekend, because the reason for that is that you're much more disciplined and you can lay out when you're going to trade on the weekend. So I personally, I am framing my trades around the news releases, okay? And as I'm going to show you here, this is my daily hypo for today. This was my pre-trading day screenshots, news releases, and that is what I was looking for. And that is the reason, guys, and that is what you really need to understand. If you're going to plan out what you're going to do on the weekend, it's much more easier for you to stick to your plan. When I'm coming to my MacBook in the morning, I'm checking the charts, I'm laying out what I want to see for the day to learn what the day did. And if I'm going to go back to the calendar, it depends on your trading style. I personally am only trading around the news releases. Most of the time, not before the release, but most of the time I'm going to take a trade after the release is out. And I'm going to show you why in a few seconds. The next thing I'm going to show you is what you need to look at when you're doing that, because there are a few key takeaways here. Okay, I'm always using TradingView to type out the notes. So, as I said, use Forex Factory for the news releases. Filter out the ones that are important to you and your trading style. And that depends on you. If you're trading JPY, look for the JPY news releases. For me personally, it's only US dollar and Euro news, because I just want to know what both of the currencies I'm trading are doing, and I don't care about the rest, you know. And the next point is very important. Be careful with the highest impact news, which are NFP, FOMC, and CPI lately. You really need to be careful with these types of news releases, because most of the time, if you're trading prior to them, you're just getting slipped, because your broker is not using 1% risk on you, but your slippage could be around 4 to 5% depending on how much risk you were using prior to that. Because sometimes NFP or CPI are creating gaps that are around 40 or 50 pips big in a matter of a second. That's the reason why I'm not trading prior to them. And if you think about it logically, you can make big money trading them, don't get me wrong, but the probability to use and to get slipped up is just too high for me to trade prior to them. You can find out for yourself, but I guarantee you, once you traded before one of these events and you get slipped up, you're going to be angry as hell, okay? You're just so pissed off, and that is the reason why I just cut it out. I'm going to do an outlook prior to them to just get a little bit of a feeling for what the news are doing, but I'm going to leave out the rest. I even got a protocol for the NFP week that I'm only trading from Monday to Wednesday, and I'm done Wednesday New York session. So most of the times in the NFP week, I only take one trade, and that's on Tuesday. Most of the times. Not every time, but most of the times. Because Thursday and Friday prior to the big news release tends to consolidate. Backtest it for yourself and find out, because the market is accumulating prior to a big news release like this. And what happens most of the time, you're going to see a stop run of the consolidation you were in, and then an expansion for the news release itself. So backtest it for yourself and find it out, okay? The next point, create your plan around the news releases for the highest volatility. If you backtest it for yourself, I always say backtest it for yourself, because at the end of the day, I can talk so much about my experience and stuff like that, but you need to find out and see these things playing out for yourself as well. That's really important. So give me a favor and backtest it and let me know in the comments what you're thinking about it. Okay? So, as I just said, news releases are a volatility injection. That's the reason why I'm framing my trades around these times. Not every release like NFP, FOMC, and CPI, as I said, But some of the like medium impact, or I don't know, some other USD news, you can put on a trade prior to it, because the whipsaw and the slippage is not that big as with the other 3 news releases. One important tip from my side: check the news prior to trading to not get caught up in something you didn't know about. I'm going to show you TradingView indicator as well, because let me know, is there any of you that have put on a trade and in a matter of seconds it ran through your take profit, or it ran to your stop loss, and you really didn't know what was going on? Chances are high that you traded while a news release were coming out, like let's say 8:30 New York time, because that is most of the times the release time for most of the news releases. And I had that happen a couple times to me myself. So check the news releases prior to trading to not get caught up in something you didn't know. Okay, the final point is backtest the major news releases and see for yourself. Most of the times, the key swing points in the market are going to form around these news releases, because the volatility injection is there. Okay, I'm going to show you in a second what that means and how you can backtest it for yourself. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to show you the TradingView indicator, which is here. Let's go to Euro USD, just random. If you click on indicators, it's this one here. As I said, you can see here exactly what I showed you prior to it, with all the news releases noted here, which is really important because you see everything when you go on the 1 hour time frame as well. You can see at 10 a.m. there will be a news release coming up, and by doing that you won't get slipped up. Okay, so try it out for yourself and let me know in the comments if you found this helpful. Now I'm going to show you my study. Okay, as you can see, my notion here, $2.23. I did that at the end of last year, around December, when the volatility is very low. I'm going to backtest the whole year. As you see here, I did Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I laid everything out. I typed my thoughts about it, and then I have every specific quarter with the opens and stop runs and everything important here. Then I got every month here, as you can see. And here is the important part, the big 3, FOMC, CPI, and NFP. So I highlighted every of these 3 news releases to see where the market formed the highs or lows. And as you can see, look at the candles at the times of the releases. Here you can see which release it was, and I marked it out to visualize it. And as you can see, the really big candles came out with these news releases. Okay, I did it for every quarter, and it's not a 100% guarantee, as you can see here. Sometimes there are small wicks as well, but that's really not important, because most of the times there will be really big volatility, as shown in these candles. Most of the times really big up close or down close candles, as you can see here with CPI, which is just crazy. Okay, and that's a wrap up for today. Let me guys know in the comments if you found this helpful, or if you got any questions. Just let me know, I'm going to help you with that. I talked about my personal trading style and how I approach the news releases. Find out for yourself, backtest it, and then let me know in the comments if you found it helpful. Until next time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all our latest trading related news. And until next time, happy trading.